Shalom, brothers. Now, we've got Shaft 2019 here, and I'm just gonna use this to elaborate a point. I ain't got any sorry, excuse me. I've not got any subscribers. To be honest, I don't want none. This is for whoever's for. Hopefully it might help you guys to, edify and bring things to other people, because to be honest, I have no interest in teaching. It's just when I see something interesting, I want to share with the brothers. So if you look through here, well, we see Shaw is having problems with his baby mom. That's his first problem. Have a wife, not baby mom. But yeah, he has some problems here, and they they shoot up his car, his missus and whatnot. And because his missus is so scared, you see in the back here, that's his child. She's like, I have to get this little Negro away from you, Chef, because you're crazy. So she's like, look at her. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Well, that's his child, and we all know Shaft was on his SHIT, you know what I mean? Little baby. Well, just to show you that the sins of the father are visited onto the child. We'll go through scriptures later, but just to show you what I mean. Look, she takes the child away. These are the curses of Jacob playing out right before our eyes. Fast forward, go through the little birthdays. Shaft is a funny dude. He's always sending him stuff. Let's see. Oh, he's sending him a box of Magnums. I mean, this guy's just like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Can't believe that. Send me some condoms. You can see he's been raised by a woman. No real masculine energy in his life. But Shaft beyond that SHIT. I mean, look at him. This guy like 60, still in shootouts. Anyway, let's move forward here. Present day. I mean, and look at him. I mean, you look at Jake. Look at him. Look at him walking with his tight pants. Look at him with his little tight pants. You see? Did you notice that early in the video? You just saw Shaq just walk across the street. Didn't even stop for nothing. This guy, look at what he does. Sorry. Apologizing for every little thing he does. He looks up the guy and he's like, boom. He suspended his license. That's a real woman. If it was a man, he wouldn't even have to deal with that. He would have dealt with the situation right there and then.
We need to talk about some shit.
Anyway, I don't want to ruin the film for anybody who's not watched it. So, anyway, we see this guy here, Hi guy. Oh, hello, I want some attention. We can see he has a very feminine spirit, even the way he raises his hand, that's not Shaq's spirit at all. So he's, even though he has the spirit of his father, look, even here, he could have had him some pussy right here, but he just look. My girl's like, oh hell no, lost the link right there and then. He ain't got game like his dad. But he's got the spirit of his father. So anyway, I don't want to ruin the story for people. I mean, you can probably guess what happened, because these things are not very original. It's the same story over and over again. Even as you saw in the room here, the crossover, and we all know what the cross is symbolic for. And not that cross. I really want to get into the lesser gods, but even look. The little Negro, had more heart than him. Like, give me that shit. It's like, oh my God, you're so angry. And he tells him where to go. He goes whatever, and then you'll see here he gets knocked out. Not Shaq's son at all. We'll keep going. Keep going, and here he meets his dad, and his dad's like, "Hang on, what? You're me? you work for the feds, nigga." Anyway, we're gonna keep going. Just to elaborate my point, we're gonna fast forward here, and oh, did I miss something interesting? Just to elaborate and help push my point. You can see he's drunk here, but just to show you something interesting, you know. Okay, and we'll see here. Situation happens. You know, situation happens, and he has to fight this dude. You know, dude don't want it with Shaft, but he's fighting his son. But his son's doing Krav Maga and all that. But keep in mind, he's drunk. Look at what he's doing to him. Now you gotta imagine through the whole film what you see. So look, he choked this guy out. Look, he's choking him out. Even though Shaft's like, what the this guy doing? But you can see he got drunk and his dad's spirit came out of him. You know, like a lot of these Edomites, they might be cool. Then you get drunk with them and they're like, you're cool for a nigga, ain't you? Or, you think they're cool with you at work, and then you get into a situation and then, they act like they don't know you, or they don't know the full situation, or they don't want to get involved, But if the shoe was on the other foot and you were clearly in the wrong and not the Edomite brethren, they come down on you like a ton of bricks. They'll be like, yeah, his behavior was inappropriate. But when their behavior is inappropriate, they don't really want to help you. They just don't want to be involved in the situation. That's their spirit coming out. In the same way, this is this dude's spirit coming out here. You see? So even though he's not really his dad, he's still got his dad's spirit. Did you see? It just to help elaborate the point. We're gonna keep going through. All praise to the Most High. He's trying to have some swag here, but he ain't got no swag. And I don't really want to ruin the mood for people. I'm trying to do it in a way where don't really mess with the copyright law, so on and so forth. So another point, Shaft gets into a shootout. You gotta imagine, you've seen his son be a punk the whole film, yeah? Shaft deals with it like a man, like a Jake. And he's on the way to his son, because his son's a little softy. Look at him. But look, he got the X gene activated. She's got a little gun in her purse. He don't carry guns, but just watch. Bang! Hits him. Look, that Jake coming out. That DNA. You see it? You see it? Woo! Did a little flip roll. Gets up. Bang! You see? So even though he's a little nerd, and you saw the little feminine movement, look at him. Cold, like a killer. Look at that. That's his DNA activated. Even though he was raised by a woman, he still has that Jake. Look. My girl getting wet for him. Oh, look at the little smoke. Oh my god. Oh, that Jake coming out of him. Look at that. Look. Oh my god. Look at the lips. It's like, oh, sorry. See? So even though he's not his father, he's been raised by his mum, he's still got that genetic in him. Just like these Edomites, they might pretend to be your friend, that they like you. As soon as SHTF, they go back to who they really are. You always go back to who you really are as a person, fundamentally, especially when that pressure is on you. Now, I'm gonna fast forward because I don't want to copyright. Just to make my point. Anyway, it goes through all of that. In the end, get the girl. Cliche ending. Now we're gonna. It's look. See, he's got the little jacket. Look, there's all three generations of Shaft. You saw him at the beginning, and now look at him now. Look at him now. You can't run from who you are. Look. Before you see him all he's not apologizing now. He's just walking across the street. because you are who your father is. He had that spirit on him. Yeah. And as we see now, you know, Genesis 15:16. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. This is dealing with chapters in Genesis. But as God said, in the fourth generation they shall come hither again. That's that regeneration. Even in Exodus here we see, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, the Most High thy Father, am a jealous Father, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Now I'm just gonna go through this little book quickly, and we're just gonna finish up with some scriptures. And this book I got here is a really good book. I was reading this last year, had some stuff happen, still got the bookmark in it. I'm not completely finished reading it, but just to help elaborate my point, it's called The Ultimate Mystery of Inheritance, Epigenetics by Richard C. Francis. The Ultimate Mystery of Inheritance, Epigenetics, Richard C. Francis. Pick it up, it's a real good book. And just to read the byword quickly, or the foreword. The burgeoning new science of epigenetics offers a cornucopia of insights, some comforting, some frightening, into how we became who we are. Consider the fetal environment. We all know that this is important, but before the advent of epigenetics, we were only scratching the surface of the mystery within. The seed, the sperm is the spirit. For example, the male fetus may be especially vulnerable to certain common chemicals in our environment in the ways that damage not only his own sperm, but also the sperm of his sons. How could these chemicals have such persistent effects? How come Edomites never change? Because of the way they affect his genes, not through mutations, but through other means, called epigenetic. These epigenetic effects alter gene behavior without changing the genetic code. Such behaviors in gene behavior can last a lifetime and sometimes beyond. Like, Edomites may not be raping people. They've changed because, they have laws and things like that call for them to behave properly. But when SHTF, they go back to who they really are. It is environmentally induced epigenetic differences that cause identical twins to vary widely in their susceptibility to, for example, dementia, cancer. But here's the good news. Unlike mutations, epigenetic effects are reversible. Indeed, epigenetic engineering is the future of medicine. This is Esau and his science. I'm just going to finish the byword, because we know now that cancer is as much epigenetic as a genetic disease. Recent epigenetic research holds tremendous promises for targeted, non-invasive cancer therapies and earlier diagnosis. You can just stop ruining the earth and, live how the Most High told you to live, but no, that's not going to happen. Stem cell research, Esau, is where we are likely to see the most important and exciting applications of epigenetics. Stem cells are special because of their epigenetic, not genetic properties. For this reason, we are now much closer to answering perhaps the hardest question in all of science. How does a hollow ball of identical stem cells become a person? How does Esau go from a monkey to a man? So I'm just gonna go through a few of this. This lesson's gonna run on a bit, but hopefully it's edifying. You learn something from it. And hang on, there's more of Esau science. Okay, the territorial males and the non-territorial male look quite different. The territorial males have bold black markers on their faces, Jacob, and are generally more colorful than non-territorial males, Esau. No color. Internally, there are even more dramatic differences. Higher testosterone, lower testosterone. Example. Territorial males have much larger testes and higher testosterone levels than non-territorial males. Oh man, I called it before I even read it. I read this before. The GTRH neurons, which is chemicals from the hypothalamus, from the brain, from the hypothalamus, which goes through the pituitary gland, which then proceeds to the gonads, which is testosterone, which then affects the target cells, are also much larger in territorial males than in non-territorial males. So my balls are probably bigger than Esau's. Now, just a few more tidbits. One of the reasons war and other forms of trauma have such enduring psychological effects is that they induce epigenetic alterations that cause long-term changes in gene regulation. So if you realize a lot of Jakes are kind of traumatized, they don't really want to say anything to Esau's face because they don't want to hurt Edom's feelings. I mean, I was saying something in a classroom. I had to leave there, but the dude, I was just saying, I was talking about the Edomites. I wasn't really getting too deep. I was dealing with surface level situations with me and this other Jake, you know. But I'm Ham, but you know he probably more Jake than I was, and I was just like, dude, like how are you gonna be subservient to these people? And I was going into how they were treating me, and he was like, do you want to go out the room? And I was like, no. These people stole from me. How am I going out the room? They should feel uncomfortable, not me. So it's like a lot of us are scared to say the truth to Esau because we're scared of Ethel. You shouldn't be scared. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. You know, whether or not our ancestors were scared, they still came over and they did what they did. But it's due to us not following the laws and the commandments of the Most High. Just a few more tidbits, and now I'm gonna finish this with some biblical scripture, but the psychic wounds of we'll leave that one. Hang on, I wanna. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but I really want something that goes along with scripture. Okay, let's deal with this. Children of mothers who suffered PTSD as a result of the Holocaust, quote unquote, we all know the truth about that, are more prone to develop PTSD even though they had no direct experience of the Holocaust. It goes back to Jake again, how we're scared to talk about, Esau, Edom, and their behavior. And then we'll go into this. It says, long ago, it was observed that when baby rats are removed from their mother's nest for lengthy periods, they become stressed out for life. If you treat somebody terribly, you racially profile them, you don't give them as much opportunities as you do your little Edomite brethren, is going to have a lifelong effect. And their ability to be able to move beyond that, their ability to be able to accumulate wealth, their mental state of mind. Now, the only way to really kind of come back to your own sense is to follow the Most High, because, he gives you the truth, and then you can see things for what they are, and you don't really get confounded and bogged down by the material things in this world. But it's just to show you when you're of a worldly, maternal, materialistic mindset, you get bogged down in this epigenetic, I call it the wrestling of the flesh. You want to reap for the spirit, not for the flesh. But this is very relevant in Esau, Edom's behavior. We'll read here. I'm gonna start this chapter. He eats much less animal-derived protein than a typical American, and virtually no beef. Chicken and fish are the primary animal proteins consumed by rural Thais. So talking about, men in Thailand. Augmented by a diversity of creatures most Americans would not consider edible, notably a variety of insects from grubs to cicadas and cockroaches. Ew. We all know biblical dietary laws forbids us to eat such things as this. The only thing we're allowed to eat, I think, is we're talking about insects, is I believe it's the grasshopper, or the insects with back thigh legs. I mean, if you look in Leviticus, you can see for yourself what the dietary laws for eating insects. For what a green papaya salad without cockroach is not a proper green papaya salad. What consumes virtually no dairy products or processed foods. Though he did acquire a taste for peanut butter during an extended visit to the United States, his desserts largely consist of processed fruit confections that are not particularly sweet. At age 60 plus, he retains the physique of a Muay Thai boxer he once was. Now, it's not the best example, but it's just to show you that when you're dealing with epigenetics, even though the guy ate, all this disgusting food that I talk about, it just says here, at the age of 60 plus, he retains the physique of the Muay Thai boxer he once was. You can't hide from who you are as a person. I think we'll leave this on here, but I might revisit this lesson. But just to finish, the Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquities of the father upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. So, the synopsis of this lesson is, regardless of how much you try to hide your history and how much you try to hide who you are, you can never escape who you are and who you're meant to be. So Jake, get it right. Get your SHIT together, because you're not gonna escape. You're not gonna escape what you have to reap, and neither is Esau Edom.